This is exam 1 review, part 2. Okay, so in this problem, it says, given the if-else statement, which of the following performs the same operation? Okay, so let me show you how this works. Annotate it. Okay, so here we're looking to see if A is greater than 5. If it is, then we're going to assign 12 to B, and if it's false, we're going to assign 30 to D. So this is the same thing as saying if A is greater than 5, and we use a question mark for this condition, then B gets assigned a 12, otherwise D gets assigned a 30. So if this is true, it does the first statement or condition, assignment statement, and whatever it is we have here after the question mark. Otherwise, it does whatever we have after the semicolon. Okay, so this question, which statement allows you to properly check the character variable code to determine whether it is equal to C, and then output this is a check? So allows you to properly check the char variable code to determine whether it is equal to C. So if we want to see if code is equal to C, we would say is code equal to the letter C. So we got to have the letter C in single quotes. Got to have 2 equal signs. So that would be this one right here. Here we go. Trash, clear all the drawers. So this one, if code equals to, this one only has 1 equal sign. This one has the double quote, so that makes it wrong. And then this doesn't even, this is not even C++. I don't know if we did ternary operators. Get back. So going back to here. So the ternary operator is just like a shorthand on using if statements. I'm just trying to think if we went over this or not. If we didn't, this is how it's always set up. You have the condition, then you have a question mark. And then if the condition is true, it's going to do this. If the condition is false, it's going to do this side. And there's just a semicolon. So here's an example. We ask the user to enter a number. And then it says, if the number they enter is greater than or equal to 40, we're going to assign the word passed gets assigned to result. If it's not greater than or equal to 40, then the word fail gets assigned to result. So hopefully that helps with this question here. Looking at, it's good to look at the answers that are wrong. So let's look at those real quick. So here, well, we need to start with the condition always. So this one's not going to work because there's no condition there. This is a condition, but it's looking at the variable B, not A. So that's not going to work. This one, it's looking to see if A is greater than or equal to 5. We wanted to see if something was less than or just less than 5. See right there, it says less than 5. So that's why that one doesn't work. Okay, here we're looking at a switch statement. The switches cause a lot of issues for students. They get confused. So the first thing that you want to notice in the switch statement is that there are no breaks. There's not a break, no break, no break, no break. That means if the user enters a 1 for num, it's going to do this, it's going to do this, it's going to do this, and it will do this and then break at this point. If their user enters a 2, it will do this, 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 this. The user enters a 3, it's going to do this line, this line, this line. A 4, it'll do this line and this line. So breaks means that it just falls through. So here we're saying the user input of 4. So we're going to start here at this point. So 4 is not equal to 1, 4 is not equal to 2, 4 is not equal to 3, 4 is equal to 4. It'll take that 4. Let's see, total is 0. So it's going to take 0 and add 3 to it. Now total is 3. There's no break. So it goes to the case 8. It doesn't compare. It just falls through, okay, since there's no break. And so now total is 3. 3 plus 6 is 9. So this will be a sign in 9. And then we break out. And this is ending. Okay. What is the value of cube after the following code executes? Well, site is 5. So we're going to put 5 here. And we're going to say 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. So cube holds 125. This is power, it's 5 to the power of 3. 5 cubed. Doesn't matter that it has 0.0. 0.0 is going to do it. It's going to do that. And it will, let me see what the answers are. Yeah, it says 125.0. So it does have the 0.0. Okay, next. What is the value stored in the variable mynum after the following assignment statement executes? So here they just want to see if you know what modulus does. What does percent do? Well, percent gives us a remainder. So we say how many times does 5 go into 23 evenly? 5 goes into 23 evenly 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. Remainder 3. So my num contains a 3. So 23 divided by 5 in programming equals 4, because 4 times 5 is 20. 23 minus 20 equals 3. That's the remainder. 23%. 5 is equal to 3. All right, next. What is the value of cookies after the following statements execute? All right, so number has a 38. Children has 4. So how many times does 4 go into 38 evenly? So 9 times 4, 9 times 4 equals 36, right? And there's 2 remaining. So there's a remainder of 2 because 38 minus 36 is 2. So cookies would be 2. That's the remainder. So 4 goes into 38, 9 times evenly, 9 times 4 is 36. 38 minus 36 is 2. What is true about the following statement? Well, first of all, let's just see what the following statement does. So if you have set with 4, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. The number, let's say that the number was a number 3. Let's say that num4 had a 3, okay? So let's say that num4 was equal to 3. It means that that 3 would get put here. Okay, so just a review of set with. If the num4 was a 13, then this would be num4. If num4 was 1300, 1300, then let's see, where's the eraser? Let's erase that. So it'd be 1, 3, 0, 0. If set with was, if num4 was 13,000, right? So much bigger than this 4 spaces, then this is where that other 0 would go. It doesn't cut off the 1, it doesn't cut off the 0, it keeps it. So I just want to remind you how that works. Now let's take a look at the answer. Take a look at the question. So it says, what is true about this? Well, let's see. It outputs set with 4 before the value in num4. No, that would be false. It is incorrect because it should use set with num4. No, that's incorrect. It allows 4 spaces for the value in num4. Yes, that is correct. So this allows 4 spaces for this number. And if this number is too big for the 4 spaces, then that's fine. It just, you just don't have any extra spaces at the beginning of the number. What statement is equivalent to the following? So this is the same thing as number. To write with this equals number plus 1. So this is a shortcut. Okay. What is the value of x after the following code executes? So we're going to just plug in. We have x equals 0, y equals 5, z equals 4. So x equals 0, y equals 5, z is 4. So this is to test that we know what order of operation. So an order operation, multiplication will come before addition. So 4 times 2 is 8. 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. X equals 13. Okay. Here, order of operation also. What is the value result of the following executes? Well, let's do all the parentheses first. So this is 15. 7 minus 4 is 3. 15 minus 3 is 12. So this whole thing gives me 12. Okay. So now I have 15 modulus 4 plus 24 divided by 12. So let me just, oops. Modulus 4 plus 24 divided by 12. Nice. This, I feel like it needs to be, there we go. Okay. So you have modulus and you have addition and you have division. So modulus and division have the same priority. So we have parentheses first. Then we have multiplication, we have division, we have modulus, but these have the same priority. This is priority 2, priority 1. Then priority 3 would be plus, minus. So we're going to do modulus first. So 15 modulus 4. 4 goes into 15 3 times evenly. 3 times 4 is 12 with a remainder of 3. 3 times 4, or 3 times 4. Not this 3 here, but just 3 times 4 is 12. How many times does 4 go into 15 evenly? 3 times. Remainder of 3. And then we're not going to do plus next. We're going to division. So we're going to divide 24. We're going to do 24 divided by 12. That will give us 2. Then we add the 3 and the 2 because that has the last priority. So our answer would be 5. Next question. What will be displayed after the following statements execute? Num1 is 5, num2 is 3. So again, we're just looking at order of operation 5, 3. Also, we have a cout statement. So it's going to see out the result is, there's going to be a space. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 10 is 25. So it'll say the result is 25 and then give us a new line. This space 25 new line. The function how x comma y requires which header file. So all the math functions, POW, absolute value, sin, cosine, sine, all those require the CMath header file. What is the value of x after the following code executes? So here we're testing your knowledge on static cast and what static cast does. So static cast is going to take whatever values here that you get here in this parentheses, and it's going to change it to an integer. So it's going to demote the value. So this would be 10.9. And then you have an integer divided by an integer. So let's take a look at. So first of all, if I didn't even know like, I can just look at this and say, okay, I'm going to divide an integer by an integer. So, this is going to convert my 10.9 to a 10. So I know that I'm going to get an integer. So it cannot be this answer. It can't be this answer. I mean, you don't even have to like work this out. So, yeah, you don't have to work it. Well, let's see. This is dividing 3. Yeah, it's just divided by integer. So it doesn't matter because 3 divided by 10, it's going to be point something. So let me just get my calculator out first. So if we do 3 divided by 10, it's 0.3. But this isn't, so let me just go down here, right? So there's 0.3, there's that answer. But what it does is it takes, and it drops the decimal. So once it drops that decimal, then we just get 0. So this here gives us 10. 3 in programming, 3 divided by 10. So 3 divided by 10 is 0.3, but this is integer divided by integer. So the 0.3 get dropped and we just get a 0. So x equals 0. That's the answer. Okay. A sign of, okay, so these are short answer questions. You're going to have several short answer questions. So let's take a look at this one. Assign a value to double variable cost depending on the value of integer variable distance as follows. So if the distance is between 0 and 100, you're going to assign $5 to cost. So it's a double variable cost, and we assign 5 to it. So let's see if I can type into here. Okay. So we have double cost if assign the value double variable cost depending on the value integer variable distance. Okay, so the variable's distance. So if the distance is greater than or equal to 0, and it's just one way to write it. Write it another way, less than or equal to 100, then cost will equal 5. Or you can just say 5, either way. And then you'll keep saying else if distance it's greater than or equal to blah, 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 so on and so forth. Cost will equal 8. Else if and the final else, this one, if it's 1,000 or more, well, yeah, so we still have to say else if distance is greater than 1,000 or more, so greater than or equal to 1,000. Cost equals blah, blah, blah. Here you'll have cost equals and cost, excuse me. Just write the if statement. If, where'd it go? just right there. If integer variable opcode has the value of 1, read in double value for x and y and calculate and print their sum. If integer variable, okay, so there's an integer variable called opcode. If it has the value of 1, okay, so if it's equal to 1, I'm just trying to read and type at the same time. I haven't read this in a while. So if the integer variable comes to 1, read in double values for x and y. Okay, so read in means that we're going to say cin x, y, and then we're going to calculate and print their sum. Okay, so you have code is 1. Now we're doing 3 things, so we do need our curly braces. We can calculate their sum separately, or we can just say C out. Sum equals x plus y. Or if you wanted to, you could say sum equals x plus y, C out sum here. That would require making a new variable. If integer variable current number is odd, okay, so we want to figure out if this variable current number is odd. Well, we had an exercise where we did this. Current number modulus 2 is not equal to 0. So if it's equal to 0, it's even. If it's not equal to 0, it's odd. So if the integer variable current number is odd, change its value so that it is now 3 times. Change its value so that it is 3 times plus 1. Otherwise, change its value so that it's now half of the current number. So it changes value means you got to put the variable here again because you're changing its value. The equal sign changes its value. Otherwise changes value so that it's now half of a current number. So just divide by half, divide by 2. Current number is an integer. So I don't have to worry about doing static cast. Well, yeah, I do. So if I have an integer like integer 9, this is not going to print. Oh, this is an even number. Okay. So if it's an even number, that's fine. So it's going to be a 10, a 6. So 6 divided by 2 will be 3. Yeah, this will work perfect. And here's 3 times the current number plus 1. Okay. So I'm just trying to like I go back and I read and I do as I'm reading it. Okay, the last one says write an if statement that outputs incorrect value if the user enters a number that is not between 30 and 100 inclusive. Inclusive means that 30 is correct and 100 is correct. Okay, so it would be if write an if statement that outputs incorrect if the user enters a number that is, so it didn't give me a variable to use. So I'm going to say number. If the number is, now it just says to output incorrect. It doesn't say to output correct. So there's 2 ways you can do this. So you can say if the number is less than 30 or the number is greater than 100, then you see out the correct value. Or you can say if not number greater than or equal to 30 and number less than or equal to 100. Okay, so here we're saying, okay, if the number is less than 30, so it has to be between 30 and 100, right? So 29, 28, 27, so on and so forth. So anything less than 30 or anything bigger than 100, it's incorrect. You got to use the or because you can't have a number that's both less than and greater than. That's impossible. Here we put what's correct. So what's correct is something between, I'm missing one parentheses. What's correct is something between 30 and 100. So I put that in the parentheses and then I put a not on the outside. So I'll say if it's not between 30 and 100, then it's incorrect. So you could do it like this, or you could do it like that. Those are your two only options. All it says is to output if incorrect. It doesn't say to output the words correct. So don't do that if it doesn't say to do that. Okay, that's the end of this review. Make sure that you've done the review assignment and that you've practiced this quiz several times. And look at the review document also that I included. It has all the different, so this document, let me just show you. The study guide right here. So this study guide, it just gives you everything that we've covered in these chapters. Okay. Good luck on your exam. Take your time, double check your work. Don't rush. Don't leave any of the short answer questions blank. You can always go to the top, to the multiple choice, to look at the if statements and the switch. If you forget how to type those up, those are in the multiple choice questions, okay? So you can always go back and look at that when you're doing your short answer questions.